Hello you guys! So here I want to talk about my experience in joining Slam Emergency Marching Competition back then in 2017 when I was in high school. So without further ado, let's get started! First, I'm going to explain what is Slam Emergency Marching Competition. So it is an annual event held by the former members of flag hosting troop of Slam Regency as preliminary competitions before the provincial level. And my school joined this competition in 2017. This event is for two levels of school, which is secondary school and high school. Basically, each platoon or team should perform some movements in each post according to the previous meeting, and the jury in each post assesses the neatness of movement, exactness of movement, movement details, compactness of movement, and the firmness of movement. Each platoon consists of 30 members and one person as platoon leader. So in total it is 31. And usually there are 4 reverse members, but the reverse member could be more or less than that. Sorry guys for interrupting, but I forgot to mention that my school had 4 platoons, and from my generation, which is 27 generation, we had 2 platoons which named Buana and Persada. The Buana one was for the male platoon and the Persada one was for the female platoon. Thank you. Firstly, we practiced for about less than 1 year for this competition, and we practiced every Friday, but it can be more often near the competition. We practiced at 6 a.m. to 6:45 a.m. and then in the afternoon after school at 4 p.m. But in Friday we practiced at 1 p.m. Sometimes we practiced to 5:30 p.m. and because of that my dad picked me up because there were no bus left. We also practiced in Saturday or Sunday in Sleman local government field, and after that, for like 1 or 2 months before the competition, our platoon leaders followed a meeting that explained about the rules, the movements, and the lottery number. So Persada got number 2, but I forgot what was Buana's number. Okay, I'm sorry. And after that we really practiced really hard, and we also prepared the uniform which we called Black Devil because we believe that the uniform has magical power. And the reason why is because our platoon had not used Black Devil before the 26th generation or 2015, and our senior worked really hard so that they could wear the uniform and for the next generation. Back to the story, we also prepared muds, eagle pins, flag pins, leggings, loafers, socks, cloth gloves, and etc. And then one day before the competition we did not practice. We prayed, hoping that we could do our best in the competition. Actually, we all felt pressured because our senior 26th generation won in the first place in the province competition. Okay, finally it was the day. I went to school at 4:30 a.m. because we should did the makeup, checked the attributes, and of course checked some stuffs like first aid, members, food and beverage, and etc. And early in the morning, some members went to the place where the event held to register a chest number. After all the preparation done, we went to the place, which was in the local government complex. We were all very nervous because we got number 2, and it started with the female platoon first and then male platoon. There were 52 platoons from the high school and 53 platoons from the secondary school. We stayed in our base camp quietly because we were not allowed to make any noises by our seniors and coaches to keep the competition atmosphere. And then some of our seniors and coaches went to the first post to give us command on when we should went to the preparation area. We went there, walked in pair with the same footsteps or of 35 members. Finally, we arrived in the preparation area, and then our platoon leader commanded us to form a platoon, which is 3 times 10, and turn it back so that we cannot saw our opponent's performance to keep our confidence. Our seniors sprayed jasmine perfume to our uniform because I don't know, it is just our tradition, and then it was our time to perform. We entered the first post with firm steps. After we successfully entered the first post, our platoon leader reported to the jury that our platoon was ready. Actually, in the first post, there were just some basic movements, but we were all very nervous and tense. Then we finished the first post, headed to the second post, and here the movements started to be more difficult. And I remember that in this post, our platoon had -10 or 15 because our members' foot were out of the area. And then the third post, and it was the most memorable moment because like we had movements in an intersection. It was really hard to stay in shape because I don't know, it always narrowed, and I don't know why. So we have to stay in shape like this, but we were like this. Yeah, so it was narrowed. Next, after we finished our third post, we had a photo section, and it was for a documentary. After that, we walked in pair to the last post. Although there were so many people in the previous post, but in the fourth post was much more people watched the performance. Here we waited for a little bit longer because the fourth post had much more movements than the previous post. My position was on the back in the last row, and because of that, when we entered a post, I should estimate my step to enter the post precisely without stepped on the line. This last post was the most difficult one because there were a bunch of movements, and the movements was really difficult. Yeah, and after we finished our last boss, our platoon leader reported to the jury that we have done our performance, and then we walked out of the area. And here one thing I remembered, some of our members cried on the way back to the bus game because I don't know, they felt embarrassed, and they felt sorry because they thought that they had wrong movements. Yeah, because of that they were cried. But our seniors and coaches told us to stop crying because there were so many people, and it lowered our prestige. After that, we took off our suit because when we wore the suit, we can't sit down or squat. And we waited for Buana to perform because we should help them to be ready in the pause. After we all competed, we waited for the announcement. While waiting for the announcement, we were punished by our seniors and coaches because some members dropped the flag pins, eagle pins, and did things that were banned in our organization when competed. And then we went to our own house, but of course we were still nervous to wait for the announcement. And then I found out through the WhatsApp group that we, Buana and Prasada, got number 2. Yeah, we won in the second place, and our platoon leaders won too. They got number 2 and 4. And yeah, that was my story. Competed in the marching competition, and I think that was such a wonderful memory for me because I know how hard we worked at that time, how much effort we made for the competition. And of course, we struggled for a long time with so many problems, but it paid off. Okay, that was my story. Thank you. Bye.